Welcome to Farm More, Colorado. I am your host, Lynn Rollins. Today I want to welcome Nona Pandil to Tony P's Pizzeria on 17th. Welcome, Nona.
Yes, it's fun to be here.
It is fun to be here. It's a
It's fun to
colorful
be
place. Now, Nona, you are an active adult in our community. You grew up in a rural farm, I understand, community in Iowa.
Yes, in Iowa.
Yes.
I even went to one of those one-room schoolhouses. I had like a total of 8 people in my school.
Okay.
In my school. We played baseball outside. And there was a haystack down there. Oh, dear. I won't tell you what happened in there.
Okay.
Okay,
We'll save
all
that
right.
for another show.
And of course, it wasn't me. It was somebody else.
Oh,
Right,
of course not you.
Not me, but somebody else.
That's fine.
That one-room schoolhouse. And then I went into town school in 7th grade and 8th grade. And in 10th grade, my parents and I moved to a larger town.
Okay.
It was twice the size of the first town. It was 5,000 people instead of 2,500.
So could you tell me more about growing up in Iowa? What was that experience like?
Well, that was real fun. I have really, really good memories.
Good.
And I don't want to go back.
No,
Okay.
we don't ever
I
want to
like
go
the
back.
city. No, I really like the city. But it was fun. We actually walked to school, have a mile block and go to school and stuff. But going into town was really the fun thing to do.
Oh, why is that?
Well, I got to meet so many people, and I really made, such good friends.
I see.
And it was a real adjustment because I was very, very short. And that was during the war. We had a phys ed class where the phys ed teacher lined us up according to our height.
Oh.
And we had to do the Grand March. So here I am in there leading the Grand March because I'm the shortest thing in the room, of course. So anyway, a good time there. Went then to a small college, now called the University of Northern Iowa, where I then ended up going to school and teaching for 5 years in the small schools.
Let me
Iowa.
ask you this. What
Yes.
did you teach? What was your subject?
I taught 5th and 6th grade arithmetic and science.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I ended up later in Colorado teaching some tiny tots or the preschool and like that.
Oh, I
But
see.
then I ended up. My brother was in real estate, and he tried to get me to sell real estate, and I kept thinking, no, I don't want to do that. But the minute I went to real estate school, I loved it. It's the first time I'd been really around adults because, remember, I've been in kids in a small school and in a small college, and then I had 4 children before, well,
4
things were, and so I'd always been with children.
Okay.
And so real estate was my first experience to be out in the adult world and learning. I was so glad to learn about, it was so much fun learning about real estate and how we do things so much like they did in England way back, Now
I want to talk more in the subject of teaching because you're currently involved in restorative justice.
Well, you're saying I'm involved in it, and yes, I'm trying to put myself in it. Restorative justice is for people that maybe haven't been exposed to that term. It really is the way the Aborigines govern their communities all long time ago, the Aborigines and the Native Americans.
Yes.
And now I heard on NPR that restorative justice in schools is there are certain states that are above and out in front doing restorative justice in the schools, and that the epitome of it is to have students lead the restorative justice.
I see.
The students then are trained to form resolution circles. And in the resolution circle, if somebody acts up in class,
Sure.
or the teacher and a student get into an argument or a conflict or whatever, then the resolution circle invites them into the circle. And so then
Invites the principal or the student
actually
and the teacher.
there's usually a teacher and then 8 or 10 students, and also the principal possibly, and the person who has been harmed, or in some instances there's more than one instance. So the person who does the what?
Kind of the leadership role.
That does the I can't say what I want to say here. That creates the problem. Creates the problem. That gets into trouble.
Okay.
Yeah, the person that gets into trouble, and the victims
that were
one or
involved.
Or the other, right. They get in the circle, and all of them tell their own story, and then the people in the resolution circle figure out something to help the person
the person that's here in the conflict.
Yes. not the victim. Who's the other person?
The victim, the person that was put in harm's way, or
person who
but either way, you're fine.
Right.
It's the person
the offender.
The offender. Okay.
The person who does the harm. Right.
I see.
Yes. So anyway, so then they settle this dispute and restore that student back in, trying to take the harm and make it better.
I see.
And that teaches the offender and the person to own up to what they've done. Like they usually don't realize that they're trying to harm somebody.
Right.
They don't intentionally maybe do that much. But restorative justice in schools, which would take away the principal kicking the child
just
out
expelling
them out
or
of school.
suspending them. It gives them opportunity, it sounds like, to voice what really happened and maybe to have a reflection on their error, how they can handle conflict better.
Exactly. Just think if in our workplaces and in our homes and in our schools, if we could practice this it brings up
awesome
forgiveness.
Yes.
And helps it so that we don't kick the child out of school, which is only a pathway to maybe incarceration, which of course we want to get rid of incarceration. But this is restorative justice in schools. Well, when I heard that Colorado was one of the top states, I become obsessed with this.
I see.
I call everybody I can that I hear that's involved with it, and that's not hard to find because Colorado is one of the top states. And
top states in restorative justice?
Restorative justice.
That's awesome.
There are 4 states, according to, we actually have in Colorado a state coordinator hired in the judicial building in downtown Denver, hired to make this happen in more schools. We actually have a program to pay the schools if they put restorative justice in.
Well, that was my next question. Is it readily accepted by school districts locally?
Actually, that's a problem. That's where we all need to work. We all need to learn about it and to support it, because many people in our society, all of us, me included, when I had a family, all of us are pretty much, we've got to punish. You know, somebody does something wrong, we've got to punish them.
We are kind of driven to punish instead of resolve.
Yes.
Instead
of resolve or put it back. So, so that's a big problem to do that. And even some of our teachers and administrators, and so it's a matter of all of us talking about it, learning about it, and talking to the school districts.
Yes.
There is a school in Boulder that has a perfect setup, and they've been doing this for 12 years.
Tell me a success story from out of that school.
Well, like the one story that I heard them talking about lately was a young lady had been drinking and was drunk in the hallway. And the person who helped her buy the liquor was also there. But they took this and put the two of them got in the circle, and they told their stories, and then the resolution circle formed a contract for the boy that helped them in there, and then the resolution circle students follow up on this and see if they are doing what they have contracted to do.
That's awesome. So she has been successful with that. And it's
they've
very
done it
supportive.
For 12 years they've been doing this now.
That's
and
awesome.
Now New Vista High School is the name of the school.
I've heard of
They are now doing their own training program. The students are doing their own training program. Imagine that, that we learned skills like that in school, and then we could take them into life, into the workforce.
Absolutely.
And everything.
School is supposed to be a place of learning.
Yes.
So not only are they learning, like you said, arithmetic, reading, math, per se, for their life, is so important these days to know how to handle and resolve conflict.
It's awesome.
I think it's awesome. So this is a passion of yours.
Like I say, I'm doing everything. I'm going to classes to learn the skills that I would need to do that. And so
and you're 88 years young.
Yeah, only 88.
Only 88.
Yeah,
yes,
only 88,
that's awesome.
Right. But this has been so good for me because I worked hard all of my life, lots of my life, selling real estate. After teaching school, then I did. I've sold real estate for like 50 years.
Oh, okay.
All over.
Awesome.
In fact, I was the first woman broker in Greeley, Colorado.
Awesome.
So, like in 1971, I had my own office in Greeley, Colorado. But then I sold in Vail a little while, and I even went to Chicago and sold for a little while. So that was so much fun. I love doing it, and the reason I think I like doing that, and the reason I think am interested in this, is I love to help people.
Yes.
And owning real estate is a way of helping people,
now
in my opinion.
Quote you from something you said. I believe owning real estate is the best and easiest way to have a good sense of being in this great country of ours. So are you saying that having a home or owning property is per se having a piece of pie of America?
Well, I think it is one of the best ways of really feeling like you are here and you are
Yes.
in, and it is a great country. We
It
don't have to
is.
go anywhere to make it great. We've got it great.
We do.
I got it great.
I agree.
Right, right. So yeah, that's really awesome. In fact, a lot of why I am the way I am is from my father doing things. He didn't have very much of an education.
What type of values did your father teach you?
Well, of course, hard work. Well,
Yes.
a lot of people have done that. But what he did do is he took his money from the farm that he sold, and he actually bought a piece of ground and built a small grocery store on the outside of this little town. And he was the first 7-Eleven.
Oh,
He didn't know that.
he didn't know.
He didn't know that because he liked to shop early in the morning when he was on the farm.
Yes.
And he'd like to shop late at night.
Okay.
So he would open up
At 7. And
at
probably
7,
shut
and
at
then
11.
it was probably 11 when he went.
Yes,
And
that's
pretty
awesome.
soon the other stores were all staying open that way because this was in 1940, like 45 and 46, you know, and way back then. So,
Yeah.
so anyway, but him doing that, me watching him do that, made it so that I got this idea I could do anything I wanted to do, right? Because
Yes.
he started it. What I didn't know is he really worked hard.
Yeah, Dad, you appreciate your father.
And when I got married, I found out that neither I nor my husband were quite that hard a worker.
But you can appreciate it. So those are valued. But you have worked hard in your life.
Right.
When
And I
you
do.
taught and did real
Right.
estate, owned your own real estate brokerage, and now you're still giving back to the community that you love,
Yeah.
this country that you love. You have been a hard worker.
Yeah, I don't think about it as giving back. I think about it as helping me, because if
Yes.
I am not doing something like that, then I'm not myself. I don't feel good, and I've had a few health challenges, but my body keeps coming back, and I love trying to find somebody. So I really like to help people, like start a business. In fact, my husband and I actually started a couple of businesses.
Oh,
maybe
here
more
locally?
more than a couple.
Oh,
because
tell me of a few.
we
Tell me
failed
of a
on a
few.
few of them, right?
But tell me a successful company that you
Well,
and your
actually,
husband started.
like he did end up selling real estate at one time, but he started a floor covering business, which is what he was doing for the where he worked. And he was very, very successful. He got a lot of floors to do, but then he didn't have enough money to hire the people to do it. So I have to say
It
that
grew.
didn't last very well.
Well,
That didn't last very long. Right?
so with the student-led resolution and
Right.
knowing the importance of that and how it can transcend throughout our community, what is a way that people can start the student-led resolution
Okay.
within their school district? Do they go to this person that you mentioned in a judicial office or go directly to the schools?
Right. Well, actually, the way to do that is to research it, look it up. There's lots on the internet, and there's lots going on in Colorado, and Longmont, our own Longmont,
Our own Longmont.
has restorative justice in their town, in their
Okay.
whole town.
Oh, in the hotel. Okay.
They have orientations, and you can go and learn to be in a resolution circle
Okay.
in actual Longmont. And there's not that many places now
Okay.
that have it in the city, like
Mm-hmm.
that. And that's very, very important. And
It
it's one way
is.
that you could learn about it. But if you know teachers or administrators
Okay.
or I don't know why not school boards,
Yes.
there's a lot that needs to be done.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there's a lot done, there's a lot that needs to be done. And by
Well,
the way,
thank you
I
so
went to
much.
Michelle and Obama have done some work in restorative justice. One other area that I'm extremely interested in is natural health remedies.
Mm-hmm.
And I have had a stroke, lymphoma, a couple or three broken bones, but
Oh my.
very, very seldom because of a death, in our daughter's death. I
Oh.
met an herbalist, and I'm very much into trying to do things and let your body heal. Try to make your body as healthy as possible.
Let it heal naturally.
Right, and heal naturally. So I'm very, very interested in that. And then the other thing that I'm just obsessed about is I love to dance.
Oh.
And I dance a lot. The dances of universal peace, for instance.
With the international dance?
Dance of international peace. And that is, the musicians are there, and they teach the words and the movements every single time that they do that.
Okay.
So, and it's still going on, and we have a huge community in Boulder and Denver here.
In Boulder, Denver. Okay.
So Dance is a Universal Peace. It's done every week.
And is it just free dance, or do you follow someone's
No, you
direction?
follow the direction that he gives you. Right.
Well, what's next for you, Nona?
Right. Well, next for me is getting my foot in and really being able to do something with restorative justice.
Okay.
And to keep on dancing.
Oh,
and,
yes.
And
you got to keep on dancing.
Right. And keep on. I am not driving these days.
Okay.
So I am out on the bus
But
all
you're
the time.
busy and you are in the community. I just want to thank you for coming on with us, Nona, today.
It's great.
You have encouraged me and many others, I'm sure, that we still need to be proactive and make sure that the student-led resolution of justice is active in our schools.
Right, and talk to the teachers and administrators
your teachers,
and everything.
Your administrators. Thank you, Nona, for joining me today on Farm More Colorado.
Far More Colorado is a public affairs interview program highlighting people of interest to Coloradans. The program has guests from our state government, and we also feature a wide variety of other guests who are making a difference here in Colorado.